Somehow, some way, we managed to get a couple of circulated nickel boxes to do another nickel hunt and album fill episode. This is episode 52. We have boxes 84 and 85, and we're hoping to close out this series today. Hey everyone, it's RobFindsTreasure. Welcome back to my channel. We've got a couple of nickel boxes, and I have been struggling, like I've mentioned, to get circulated boxes, but I managed to get a couple, so I'm hoping that we can get something for the collection and maybe close out the series. Now, before I get into the album, I do want to remind everyone that if you've not watched the first 51 episodes, I have the entire playlist starting at box 1 linked in the video description down below, as well as pinned up here so you can check it out before spoiling the progress made. Now, for those of you already caught up, you know what we need. No reason to even open the album. We need that 1950 Denver key date nickel. Of course, we could use some upgrades in the 30s and 40s and in the early 50s, and we're always on the lookout for silver, buffaloes, you name it. Push this aside. I'll be using my nickel coin hunts mat for today's hunt. You guys have seen it. I have links to it down below, as well as up here, or any of my mats if you have interest. We're not going to sit here and chit-chat too long. I'm interested in getting into these rolls. I'm interested in seeing what kind of goodies we find. And of course, we'll be back if and when we find something. Well, this is a fast start. We're on roll number 2 of the first box and hunting through the roll. And look at behind that Jefferson. We've got a buffalo nickel right off the bat. This is going to be a Philadelphia. There's no mint mark below the words 5 cents. And man, it's pretty slick. Let me examine it, see if I can find out what year it is. And if not, we'll have to use the nickel date and I'll bring it back. So I've got it under the scope and man, it's got some visibility. Obviously we know that's a 1 and a 9. And judging by the shape of this, it's hard to tell. That's not going to be a teens. I think it's going to be a 1-9 and either a 27 or a 37. It's hard to tell. My best guess is going to be a 1930 something based on the shape. Now, I know some of you will say, Rob, you can tell by the ribbons, you can tell by the feathers and all that kind of stuff. I'm not worried about that. It's going to be a common one no matter what. But I don't think I can read it. I mean, it could even be a 25. If you guys see it, put it in the comments down below. Let me see if I can figure it out before I have to nickel date it, and I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. I've studied the film. I think it's going to be a 1927 or a 1925, and at worst case, it's a 35 or a 37. I'm not 100% sure, but I've decided not to nickel date it. Man, it's just too nice, and I like the way that it looks in hand. And I'm sure somebody could figure it out, or I could do some research down the road. We're not going to nickel date it. It looks too nice. Love the coloring of it. Buffalo nickel in the box. If it had a mint mark, I probably would consider it, but without a mint mark, we'll leave it like it is. Second roll, buffalo nickel already. Let's get back to the hunt. Roll number 6. We have our first 40s Jefferson of the box. Pretty nice 1940 Denver. We're on roll number 8, and I think we're going to have a silver war nickel right there. I saw it by the edge. Let me see if I can do this. See how it's a different color? And yes, it is. It's going to be a silver war nickel if I can get it out of the roll. We've got a Philadelphia mint mark, and it's a 1943. So we'll check it for that 3/2, which it's not. And I don't see the double die, but either way, we have a silver war nickel and a buffalo nickel in the first 8 rolls of this box. Man, that's a booming start. Roll number 11, got a 1949 nickel. Hopefully it's an S, if not, maybe the Denver. And it's neither. 1949, Philadelphia. Roll number 14, box is staying hot. Another 40s find, 1941, Philadelphia. Roll number 17, the 1946. 1946, Philadelphia. We'll just check it really quick for that notch in the R. Don't see it, but we'll take it. Same roll, and we've got another 40s find, and when I flatten them out, we have another 40s find. So this one is a 1940 Philadelphia. And this one's going to be a 1947 Denver. 2 finds, 3 finds actually in that roll. Hot box. We're on roll 19 and pretty comical. Took it out of the roll, put it down, flattened it out, and in the back pops another buffalo nickel. That's the second one of the box through the first 19 rolls. And that looks pretty old. No mint mark. No, it's not that old. Well, I mean, it's old, but not in terms of buffalo nickels. 1936, Philadelphia. Probably means that one is a 1937 if I were to guess now after finding 2. 2 buffalo nickels and a Civil War nickel and a bunch of finds so far. 19 rolls in. Same roll and yet another find. 1948 Denver. 2 years off of 50 Denver. Still the same roll. This was reverse facing, and when I flipped it forward, I saw it was a pretty cool tone 1941 Philadelphia. We're on roll number 40. The box has cooled down quite a bit, but we have another 40s nickel find. It's another 1949 and another 1949 Philly. Roll number 42 is going to have an ender. It was reverse facing, so I didn't notice it, but when I flipped it around, it's a 41 Philadelphia. Same roll. Got another 40s nickel, another 1941, but this time, Denver. Well, that box definitely cooled down in the end, and even though we found some more 50s finds towards the end, it was a tale of 2 halves. At the end of the day, though, we did get 11 in the 50s, 12 in the 40s, including the Civil War nickel, and a couple of buffalo nickels. One dated, one I think in 1937, so maybe a couple in the 30s regardless. At the end of the day, that was a fun box, had a lot of good finds. We didn't find the 50D, but I don't mind not finding the coin I need when I'm finding others that I enjoy finding. All right, let's move on to the other box. And for those wondering, these are the same bank pickup. I picked this one up on Friday, and I picked this one up today on Tuesday. So even though they're from the same bank, I don't know if they're going to be brother and sister box. We'll keep our fingers crossed that they are, because I'd like some more of those, if possible. I'll bring you in on my first find in box 2 or box 85 of the series. Roll number 3 of box 2, we have our first Jefferson nickel found that's in the 40s. 1940, and that might be a San Francisco, and it is. We'll take it. Roll number 8, we just grabbed the 1951 Denver, not the 50D, in this roll, but now we have a 1940 Philadelphia as well. Well, roll number 10 is going to keep up with the Buffalo Barrage because right there, we've got another Buffalo nickel. It's great seeing these. They're the coin that started off my coin passion, and I love when I find them, and that's a 1919. That's a 1919 Philadelphia. Let's just double check everything. Philadelphia minted 1919. You can see the date. Love finding the teens Buffalo nickels with a date. Unfortunately, 1919 is a pretty common year, but this has some pretty decent detail for being a 1919. We even have a partial horn up there on his head. Man, oldest find of the 2 boxes so far. 60 rolls in, 3 buffaloes, and a silver. Very next roll, roll number 11. We've got another 1941 Philadelphia. Roll number 12, another 40s Jefferson, 1948 Philadelphia. Same roll, and the reverse made it look like a proof, and when I flipped it, I confirmed it was. It's got a lot of damage on it. It's been in circulation, but that's a 2001 S-proof Jefferson nickel for the board. Roll 16, another oldie, a 1940 Philadelphia. Roll 26 of box 2, and we've got a Canadian, our first one, 1987. Roll 27, a 1948 Jefferson nickel from Philadelphia again. Roll number 36, and we've got another 1948 Jefferson, again from Philadelphia. Roll number 40 of box 2, and we've got another 1941 Jefferson from Philly. Roll number 43 of box 2, and we're going to have another 40s Jefferson nickel. 1947, and I think that's a San Francisco. It is. Let me just confirm the date. Yeah, 47S, not a key or semi-key, but might be an album upgrade. It's in pretty nice shape. Well, roll number 44 is going to have a cent in it, and it looks like it could be copper. No, it looks pretty zinky now. Man, I can't even see the date on this one. It is copper, 1976 or 1978. Thought it looked copper, but then it was so decayed, I thought maybe it was zinc rot, but no, just a beat up 1978 likely copper cent, although it's not a nickel. Well, we finished that 2-box nickel hunt, and of course we didn't get the 50D this time, but I am not upset at this hunt. This was a very fun hunt. We got 25 in the 50s, 21 in the 40s, including that silver war nickel, that 43p. So 46 early Jeffersons, can't get mad at that. I will also point out that I found a pretty nice 1966 beautiful nickel. No full steps, of course. We got the Canadian nickel. We got the 2001 proof nickel. We also got that 78 deteriorated copper cent and 3 buffalo nickels. A nice little buffalo herd in those 2 boxes. Obviously, we got the 1919p. We got the 1936p and the undated, but pretty sure it's probably a 1937p. Could be a 27p as well. It doesn't really matter. Now that we've done that, we know we don't have any additions for the album, but maybe we have an upgrade or two. Maybe we don't. The album's pretty nice, but let me double check it. I'll bring it back in for a final look and any information about upgrades or additions. Well, as expected, this nickel album is just too nice for any of the upgrades that we could have had. That 47S was pretty much a toss-up with the one I had in the book. That 66 that we found, toss-up with the one in the book, and none of the other nickels actually had a chance to upgrade the ones we have existing. It stinks not adding that 50D, but it's nice adding a little more silver to the stack, which makes me happy. Of course, he will spend some time in the 2021 silver jar before he makes it into the stack. Hopefully, despite no additions, no upgrades for the album, you guys still enjoyed this pretty fun nickel hunt and album fill episode. If you did, I'd appreciate that thumbs up. And as always, happy hunting, and thanks for watching. Like I said, nothing for the album, but definitely something for the 2021 silver jar.